amazing. So many colors. The colors, I love it. So many people here, the community gathered for the Pride flag raising and the Pride festival and the Pride parade, which is good. So many colors, beautiful colors.
I will say I've seen a lot of the same people that were here last Pride. Lowell is absolutely 100% a queer-friendly place. Massachusetts in general is extremely queer-friendly. Being that there's absolutely no anti-trans legislation in Massachusetts, and I feel like, especially in Lowell, I feel like gender nonconformity is something that's especially encouraged.
What I have seen so far, it's been very colorful and very pretty, and there's a lot of people here who are all dressed up. And I did tie-dye so far. I tie-dyed a bisexual pride shirt.
Being from Lowell, they've been making some strides towards the DEI, especially with Pride. And I would like to just see it expand and grow and be amazing.
I'd love to see this expand out, maybe some parking lot or whatever else they can get. I'd love to see this grow, but from what I'm seeing now, I feel like it's pretty standard. I will say, not super thrilled about the cops, but I understand at least smaller avenues like this. With what we have in Lowell, you can see we make use of it very well.
Showing up in the rain, all of us are here, like, still smiling, still happy, like, still just like, here we are, let's love.
The community is more together and more involved in it. Then I'm going to Boston next week, but I really like the close-knit feel of the Lowell Pride.
I think Pride is a very important part of any community because it makes people feel seen. As you can see around you, there's so many people here, and if it wasn't necessary, there wouldn't be this many people here.
I want to just be myself. I want to fly this flag high and not give a crap what people think about me or say about me. And I want to be visible because I am sick of hiding.
I think being proud about being visible in the community is kind of what it means to me, right? Like just being out here, being who we are, whether we're gay or straight or undecided or everything in between, right? That whole alphabet, we're just here. I've never been at an event that spreads more love, more acceptance, and more support than something like this. It means awareness. This is like everything. This event is everything.
So my brother is part of the LGBTQ plus community, and I just always want to support, even if I'm with him or not with him.
Pride and visibility ultimately comes down to just showing people that it is okay, it is normal to be gay, trans, queer, lesbian, asexual, agender, pansexual. The thing about visibility is that it needs to be prominent so that people know that their communities are out there.
Especially for a community that traditionally has not been very visible to the public eye, I think it's really important to have events like this to just sort of spread awareness, make our voices heard when without things like this, many people wouldn't have their voices heard, wouldn't be able to be their true selves, wouldn't be able to, express who they are. And so I think especially with organized events like this, a lot of people get the opportunity to just have a space where they can be themselves.
For me, Pride is really about celebrating the freedom that we have to express ourselves, to be who we are, and to just to show the community what a wonderful thing it is.
I think it's really important for teachers especially to be understanding and welcoming of the LGBTQ community. As a member myself, it's very important that they know that they're seen, they're valid in the classroom and out of it. Sometimes when these kids go home, they don't have a safe place to go to. They can't be their authentic selves at home, so they need to have a safe space where they can do that. I try to provide that in my classroom every day, and to just teach kindness and understanding, and I teach that to my child as well.
So I'm older than I look, and I'm almost 40. And back when I was me, I was in 3rd grade, and I was like bowl cut, wearing cross colors, overalls and boys' clothes, and I got my ass kicked. You know, it was a unfortunate situation that people were just ignorant to. And I started very young in a gay straight alliance class, and I was talking at colleges and moving my way through it. And I think, especially for domestic violence survivors, it's such an unspoken and untalked about thing for, you know, female people who have been victim of abuse. So this was never a thing. I mean, and now it's not just togetherness and just like the gays, so to speak. And I'm old school, so my language is not where it should be. But honestly, it's everyone, right? Like, we're all like just collectively loving on each other, and I think that things like this, events like this, moments like this, it reminds you of why we do human service work, why we're here, what we're doing, and who we're doing it for.
I like to think that we're moving in the right direction in a lot of places, but it is really worrying to see, you know, in different states, different countries, people sort of pushing back and, you know, legislation being put up. But, you know, I think it's very important for people, regardless of where they are, to understand that there's a lot of people out there that, you know, need help, might not have the same, you know, privileges that we might have here. And so I think that, you know, regardless of where you are, it's really important to just stay informed and realize what you can do to help, no matter how small it may be. And it's just something that's important to think about.
We're lucky to live in Massachusetts. It's a safe state in so many ways.
There's definitely still people, even here in a progressive state, in a trailblazing state, that still don't get it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I grew up in Missouri. And it is not a very friendly state to LGBTQ people. It's simply not. There are friendly people there, but there are also a lot of unfriendly people there. But even here, you can taste the difference in the air. I mean, especially Boston, I have legitimate worries with the amount of Nazi protesters that have been out in Boston the past couple of years. I'm still going to Pride, but I don't feel as safe as I did, but that's not okay, but also not going to stop me from going. I think it's more important to go if it doesn't feel safe, because it tells them we're not going to back down.
We have to have pride because we cannot let the Proud Boys win against hatred.
I feel like a lot of the anti-trans legislation is not at all coming from a place of fear or wanting to protect. It's not coming from that. It's coming from a place of bigotry and transphobia.
The same people protesting against drag queens are the same people that will bring their kids to a Taylor Swift concert, who is just dressed as classily as any drag queen would be.
If we just allow this legislation to pass, then it's just going to get harder, not just for trans people, but for any marginalized group. And that's why it's important that not just trans people, but trans allies and like anyone who truly does feel, anyone that feels that they could be harmed by any sort of bigotry should be joining in the fight against transphobia. Because ultimately, fighting bigotry in one space ultimately fights bigotry in that other place. So I really do think it's important that we all ally ourselves against transphobic legislation.
Far better moment than we were, okay? So I remember going to those colleges, for instance, and speaking, and it was because there was professors and different like administrative personnel that were there because they had to be, because they had at some point been ignorant to an LGBTQI person or whatever, and it was a whole issue. So we were like talking like we're people, right? Like we're just humans. We all bleed the same, we all love the same.
I've definitely noticed some change, and I definitely feel like there's room to grow nationally, internationally, and that's part of what I would like to be a part of the change, of helping and not just speaking things, but actually doing things. And I think a lot for even me today, it's just showing up.
I think like a lot of things in the course of time, it's been a complexity. I will say that looking back like over the last, say, 2 decades or so, my observation is that many of the people in the LGBT community have certainly gravitated towards the power of organizing.
You know, there's a lot of excitement in the air. There's a lot of good feelings. We can't lose sight that, you know, there can be more to be done, and there should be more that's done, and just don't stop fighting.
We all require the same respect, same dignity, and we should all live in, as one.
It's time to be visible, and it's time to come together as a community again, in a way we haven't needed to since the AIDS epidemic.
I think the best thing we can do is have more trans health care. Martin Luther King actually said that the greatest form of injustice was inequality in health care. So for me, the biggest thing we can do to get equality is to make sure everybody has equal access to health care.
But don't forget to have fun as well. Pride should be a time of celebration and should be a time of good feelings and just good vibes.
I would like to see more celebrations like this. Yeah, I mean, I feel like New England, we're lucky that we have 4, 5, 6 different pride parades that happen, like big ones. And, yeah, so we're very lucky, and I think it's important that we can show that to people.
The planning committee is something that anyone can be part of, and we do this all year long. So we would love to have people come and join us and show their support for the LGBT community. Again, there's so much more we need to do to support and to show our love and support for this wonderful community as they're being persecuted across the country and their rights are being taken away. This is just one little piece of the work that needs to be done to support and help the LGBTQ community. So happy Pride, and we look forward to seeing you. To all of the students or kids that are around here that are not feeling like they can be their true selves, I hope that they find the courage to do so, and I hope that they find a safe adult that can help them in that supportive journey. To any parents out there that are still feeling afraid or nervous or not sure how to support their child, all you can do is have an open heart and listen when your child tells you their message, and just love them no matter what happens. Love them no matter what. That's all I can say.